Okay, so let's start with the chapter 35, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Winner's Curse. So basically, this chapter is about how if we win in an auction or something like that, we actually end up losing money because we end up paying much higher for a thing which is not required. Okay, suppose the value of something is $100, but we end up paying 150 for it in an auction because we are competing with someone, and due to the uncertainty and the emotions, we end up paying higher. Okay, so this happens. Let's start. Texas in the 1950s, a piece of land is being auctioned. 10 oil companies are vying for it. Each has an estimate of how much the site is worth. The lowest assessment is 10 million and the highest is 100 million. The higher the price climbs during the auction, the more firms exit the bidding. Finally, one company submits the highest bid and wins. Champagne corks up. The winner's curse suggests that the winner of an auction often turns out to be the loser. Industry analysts have noted that companies that regularly emerge as winning bidders from these oil field auctions systematically paid too much and years later went under. This is understandable if the estimates vary between 10 million and 100 million. The actual value most likely lies somewhere in the middle. The highest bid at an auction is often much too high. Unless these bidders have critical information others are not privy to, this was not the case in Texas. The oil managers actually celebrated a Pyrrhic victory. Today, this phenomenon affects us all. From eBay to Groupon to Google AdWords, prices are consistently set by auction. Bidding wars for cell phone frequencies drive telecom companies to brink of bankruptcy. Airports rent out their commercial space to the highest bidder. And if Walmart plans to introduce a new detergent and ask for tenders from 5 suppliers, there's nothing more than an auction with the risk of the winner's curse. The auctioning of everyday life has now reached tradesmen too. Thanks to the internet, when my walls needed a new lick of paint, instead of tracking down the handiest painter, I advertised the job online. 30 painters from more than 300 miles away competed for the job. The best offer was so low that out of compassion I could not accept it. To spare the poor painters the winner's curse. IPOs are also examples of auction, and when companies buy other companies, the infamous merger and acquisition, the winner's curse is also present more often than not. Astonishingly, more than half of all acquisitions destroy value, according to a McKinsey study. So, why do we fall victim to the winner's curse? First, the real value of many things is uncertain. Additionally, the more interested parties, greater the likelihood of an overly enthusiastic bid. Second, we want to outdo competitors. A friend owns a micro antenna factory and told me about the cutthroat bidding war that Apple instigated during the development of the iPhone. Everyone wants to be official supplier to Apple, even though whoever gets the contract is likely to lose money. So there are many examples that we are seeing here. Saw the example of IPO, we saw the example of a bid, and this is a example of Apple supplier. So how much money you pay for $100? Imagine that you and opponent are invited to take part in such an auction. The rules: whoever makes the highest offer gets the $100 bill. The most important when this happens, both bidders have to pay their final offer. How high will you go? From your perspective, it makes sense to pay 20, 30, $40. Your opponent does the same. Even 99 seems a reasonable for $100 bill. Correct. Now your competitor offers 100. If this remains the highest bid, he will come away break even, whereas you will simply have to cuff up $99. So you continue to bid at 110. You have guaranteed loss of $10, but your opponent would have to sell out $109, his last bid. So he will continue paying. When do you stop? When will your competitor give up? Try it out with your friends. In conclusion, accept this piece of wisdom about auctions from Warren Buffett. Don't go. If you happen to work in an industry where they are inevitable, set a maximum price and deduct 20% from this to offset the winner's curse. Write this number on a piece of paper and don't go a cent over it. Okay. So Warren Buffett suggests that don't go to auction if you have to go, set a maximum price and deduct 20% from this to offset the winner's curse. In the previous chapter, let me just remind you, there is a rule number of 70 was there. Basically, if you are getting 7% return on something and you divide it by 7, 70 divided by 7, you will double your money in 10 years. This is just a like recap of that, so that people can, like, while taking decision, use this magic number. Okay. So today's chapter was curb your enthusiasm, winner's curse. So in winner's curse, this thing is there. Okay. Basically, as we have saw in the beginning, or we have seen many examples about the winner's curse, this is there, that we end up paying more for a thing which has less value. Okay. Thank you.